All right. Hey, guys. Welcome back to Sneaker Impact News.
How you doing?
I'm your host, Bryan the Botanist, and today my special guest is Arthur Alexander. Arthur, what's up, bro?
How you doing, man? I'm good, man. I'm good. Happy to be here. Thankful for you guys having me. It's a nice day here in Miami, so
Absolutely.
Sit down and talk.
Thanks for coming by. And
Love, by the way. Look great.
Thank you. So, guys, Arthur is the captain of Late Night Menu Crew and also the Nike Run Club pacer for Brickell Run Club.
Right.
And he's a creative entrepreneur and director in Miami. He's was referred to us through one of our dear friends, Frankie, and I've actually run with him, I believe, at the run clubs. Many of you have too. Arthur, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Yes.
So tell us about some of these things, these projects you've been up to lately in Miami,
right now,
the run scene.
Right now, I'm very much focused on Late Night Menu Crew, which is a crew that I'm a captain of, founded with a bunch of other runners here in Miami. We came up under the umbrella of Frankie Ruiz under Baptist Health Run Club. We did a lot of work for South Beach Run Club for on Lincoln Road on Thursdays. A lot of support for Brickell Run Club as well, and that kind of helped us get our identity, aiming for races like Miami Marathon, trying to do out-of-town races. Right now, we're very much chasing majors, trying to get Chicago done this year. We have some people doing Berlin as well. So that's one of the projects I'm focused on. I'm also involved in a creative group called That's Besides the Point. Very much focused on trying to affect the market in Miami as far as creatives go. Trying to do detailed events. We had a couple nights at spots downtown, like Over Under. We are now focusing on a Father's Day event we have coming up actually with Jay Wakefield in Wynwood.
Cool. Yeah, I love Jay Wakefield.
Yeah, we're creating a beer there, and we're going to be serving that on Father's Day. So I'm looking forward to that a lot. I've also been DJing, so that's been good. I've got an opportunity to play a couple places that I frequent, also a couple places that are like on my mood board of playing, so I'm pretty happy about that right now.
Wow.
Most recently, we did Sam's 1-year anniversary. It's a Michelin star restaurant in Miami, downtown, right by the courthouse where you guys have one of your Sneaker Impact boxes as well. The chef there just received a Michelin award, and they were celebrating their 1-year anniversary. I got a chance to DJ that. A lot of the community was out for that, so
really
happy
cool
about that. Yeah.
Damn, that's awesome, man. We got some good topics to talk about today because I love DJing. Before we get into your projects, take us back. Where did you grow up and what was your youth like?
I grew up in South Florida, pretty much between Broward County, Fort Lauderdale, and Port St. Lucie County. I did my younger childhood here in Fort Lauderdale and Broward, closer to us right now, Miami. Then I did more like my teenage years in Port St. Lucie. After high school, I played for basketball at Broward College for a year. Then I moved to Boston where I played college basketball there, small school called LaSalle, got my bachelor's in psychology, came back home, started just getting into the workforce, worked in finance for a little bit. After that, I wanted to more chase my creative side, so I was getting into styling work, getting into fashion work, and that's what brought me to Miami. I took a job at Nike just because I wanted to be down here, closer to the action. Working at Nike is what kind of brought my running journey out. We spoke briefly off camera, and I met people like Molly Metzever, David Kilgore's wife, and she put the battery in my back as to becoming a pacer. I was working at the store, and I saw this run club happening out of the Nike store. And I had no idea what it was, and I was just trying to get off of the sales floor and go run with them. Molly was the one who told me I don't need slow pacers. I need people who are running 8-minute miles and 9-minute miles. And I was like, all right, challenge accepted. So that's what geared me into running, not knowing what it would be and what it would build after that. But it was mere just me trying to get out there, definitely clear my head, mental health, getting involved with the community. And a couple of years later, 5 years, 6 years later, it's built into something major with my Late Night Menu Crew and my own personal journey. So I'm happy for it.
That's awesome. South Beach Run Club is where I met most of my friends when I moved here in 2008.
That's actually everybody that I know in Miami.
I literally knew one person in Miami when I moved here in 2007, 2008. And I went to South Beach Run Club within a year, like mid 2008. I think Frankie had just started at 2009, and it quickly from Mr. R's grew to such a big group. And then it moved to the Nike store, and then the Brickell one started, and then all the other ones. So I want to talk about how your life as a pacer. We're going to do a separate little area about that coming up. I think I've been at some of the run clubs and seen you there, and there's a lot of music involved.
With the speakers.
It's not your typical run club. It's more, it's got energy. And not all run clubs are great. I don't want to poo anyone. It's just got a certain style. And but Late Night Menu Crew, tell us about that. Like, where do you guys meet? What time? What day? Who's behind it besides you, and what do you guys do? What's your specialty?
So right now, our scheduled runs happen like bi-monthly. Twice a month, I'm sorry. So our official runs that we do happen at twice a month. Is first Saturdays we run with Shoe Gallery.
Okay.
Right here on 79th. We do a 3-mile run with them. And every third or fourth Saturday, we run with Saturday or Sunday, we run with Soho House on South Beach.
Oh, nice.
So through those partnerships, but actively, we also have a lot of people that are involved. The Late Night Menu Crew are big in the community as well. Every Wednesday, we have Nike Well Collective that's led by Laura Carter, and she's part of Late Night Menu Crew as well, but she's been doing amazing work with Collective and Nike on Wednesdays, and that happens out of the Brickell City Center. Okay. And that's every week. A lot of the pacers there are women of Late Night Menu Crew. Individually, they all have their own followings, their different ways they impression on the community as well too. This week, actually, one of our male runners, Shane Steele, is leading a run for Sweat Pals. And so that's going to be happening this Saturday as well when this airs, but it's this happening this week. For Late Night Menu Crew, for myself, I love that we affect the community separately and not only as a group. Sure. For me, I look at it as like a creatives run group. We each have our own talents. Like, even though we're working full-time jobs, we have our lives. I try to push everybody to embrace that creative side. For me, I have my job, but I still want to DJ. I still want to lead things for Late Night Menu Crew. I want to do different things. We've been shooting short films with a guy named Billy Graydon, and those are amazing through his company as well too, which is Can't One Collective. Okay. We've been shooting short films. We've been trying to activate differently. One of our runners, we're raising money now for the Chicago Marathon. Another runner of us, Brian Ramirez, he's also doing like a Smash Burgers pop-up because he's very much into food. He has his own food block called Growling Stomach. Different things like that. A lot of
cool enterprises and creatives.
For sure.
It's a collective.
Yeah, it's more of a collective. And that's what I love about it. It's not necessarily like this is our crew and like we run here. It's like we support all the crews through Miami. We go to all the runs.
It's creative. It's more than just running.
It's more than just running. It's more of what running lifestyle can be to you. And just like you said, like you move to Miami, you don't know anybody. And right now it's a very much like in thing to be in like a run club or like a run crew, but it literally helps people like acclimate to a city. Sure. Get a sense of this is what I belong to. These are my people. This is like my tribe. And for us at Late Night Menu Crew, that's just really what we're about.
When did you guys form the Late Night Menu?
We started around 2018. We got the name because a lot of us at the time were working at the Nike store. So what we would do is running after work. So our store was closing at 11 o'clock. We were closing the store, cleaning up, starting a run from Bodega on South Beach at 11:45, 12 in the morning. So you got to imagine, like really on South Beach, that's where the name Late Night Menu Crew comes from. We were running a lot of routes down the South Beach Boardwalk. We did a lot of Venetian runs, a lot of North Bay Road runs, just to get extra miles in, have a sense of...
Those are safe areas to run at night, too, because you got to be careful. And we can talk about that Wynwood versus... Because you guys do events like all over the city?
Yeah, we do.
Sounds like Brickell and South Beach, which are awesome areas. Soho, that's very safe. On the
very safe, but more so, it's in the mornings. We have our runs. We don't necessarily run in the middle of the night anymore. But you do once in a while, and I like running any time of day. You know, and if your lifestyle aligns with you needing to do, that's a really cool origin story. That it was a crew from Nike that was done cleaning the store, and they wanted to run together. Just took off for a ride.
Do something healthy and also hang out a little longer.
Definitely.
Miami's a fun place to do that. So, besides Late Night Menu Crew, let's shift over. So how do people find it? What's the easiest way? Is Instagram?
On Instagram is our easiest way. Okay. Late Night Menu Crew on Instagram. We also, if you come to our runs, we recently started like a WhatsApp chat where we blast each week what we're going to be doing that week. We have a lot of events happening, especially now. Major marathon training is about to happen, so everybody's going to be
social things that the crew's doing outside of the normally scheduled programming. But the marathon training, that sounds really cool. And the other events that you got a team that is training for some big events. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about the running scene in Miami as a pacer. What are some of your favorite stories? What are some of your favorite moments? You've been a Nike and a Brickell pacer.
Yeah,
and
like overlaps. I definitely say we've had some major moments. One that comes to mind, like right now, we're talking about South Beach for Miami Music Week a couple years back. We have Cascade.
Oh,
and
wow.
we were running with Cascade.
Yeah, I saw photos from that. I saw the
Had,
photos,
like,
yeah.
a huge speaker
Wow.
that we're running. We were playing his music, and we actually ran a 5K down the beach and took him to his pool party at the SLS. Like, he got off the run and right onto
So he ran
start playing
to his set.
Yeah, to his set.
Oh,
and
my God.
shouts out to Frankie, because Frankie's always finding different innovative ways to have major moments in Miami and running. And over years, not just like
Didn't
right
Pitbull
now.
come once to Brickell? I thought I saw him there for Frankie's birthday.
He had
was
to.
Was it a real Pitbull?
It wasn't real.
It wasn't a real Pitbull?
but
Oh, it
was-
sounded just like
For
him.
now, it's Pitbull, and we talked about that recently.
Honestly,
so,
I was at that one
Yeah,
because I hadn't been in a few years, but I was at that one.
right.
And it was Frankie. Shout out to Frankie. Frankie's
Pitbull. Yeah.
Frankie's Pitbull party at the Brickell
party,
Club.
yeah.
It looked just like Pitbull, and it sounded, of course, I'm sure you could see the difference if you look super close, but he was like 99.9%.
9%
It wasn't
Pitbull,
someone
yeah.
that was like, this was like the best Pitbull impersonator in the world.
Definitely.
And his wife got it. I believe
and
was a story.
that's why I'm
Because
pretty sure that guy was a Pitbull impersonator.
And he had the top-notch, setup with like group behind him or whatever,
Right.
and DJ helping him with the music, and he was
Definitely.
crushing. I thought it was a real Pitbull.
No,
But you just, Frankie has created this incredible movement, and it's so cool to meet the Pacers. Jose's been a dear friend of mine. Shout out to Jose Miguel
yeah.
Garcia. I've known him since 2009 or 8.
the John Daly of running.
Yeah, we've had a lot of conversations on the run. Sometimes I'm annoying, sometimes I'm
sure.
quiet. But yeah, you guys have a great group of women and men Pacers. Any cool stories besides that, moments of just helping people that you've seen as a Pacer?
There's so many stories that happen between Brickell and South Beach. For me, it's not like one specific thing. One thing I do love to say, this running community, we're with each other more than when we're just on the runs. We've supported each other through so many things, ups and downs. We've been through graduation, been through job losses, jobs gained, personal losses, life, of
Yeah.
having
Heavy stuff.
children. For
Good
late
stuff
night-
and bad
for-
stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
good stuff and bad stuff. So it's just that everybody's there for each other, even when you're not in your best mood, even when you're not in a good, like you're saying, sometimes you're talking a lot to Jose. I'm sure there's days where you're not feeling good and you just want to get on a run. It's hard when you're like, oh, I'm going to have to run into everybody. And people are like, what's wrong today? But I feel like in the running community, we're so open about today's not my best day and I just want to go for a run. And we're very supportive of that. Being a pacer, I get to see that. I get to see people super happy when they showed up. People not so happy when they showed up. I'm sure people have seen me.
They've been fighting traffic or something bad
Yeah,
happened at
you
work,
know,
or they're
it's-
just in. I've been there. I've been at run clubs where I was upset about something too, and I just need to go to run club.
Yeah, and it's just that day.
But once you start running, you feel better.
you
usually.
feel better.
Yeah.
And I do take that
You see that.
personally as a pacer. You've seen I'm try to be high energy every day. I know a lot of us, we have our music. There's certain people that, like, even though I'm having a bad day, somebody might be coming out to get rid of their bad day. So I try to make sure I'm like somewhat always attentive to that and paying attention to that. So I can't pick out any specific moment. I will say that since I've been running, I've seen like 4 or 5 maybe running community babies being born now.
Oh,
So those moments are important to me. We had one just born recently in Late Night Mania Crew. We have another one on
Hopefully
the way.
not during the run though.
Not during the run, no. So we're gonna have a lot of strollers.
But you've seen the journey from
Yeah.
just being, even getting married, meeting people and getting or relationships, but just having a baby. That's huge. Yeah, that's a big change.
So it's moments like that are more on my mind when I'm thinking about pacing or I'm thinking about leading things for Late Night Mania Crew versus like, I love Cascade Run. I love when we do
That
we had
was
a run
epic.
with the mayor and it
Oh,
was
yeah.
like 1,000 people.
Sure.
We've done major moments
you
like
guys
that.
take
We've
over
had-
Miami. For those that don't know Brickell Run Club, you got to look it up on YouTube or on Instagram
Every
because
Tuesday. Sorry
it's
for the
what, how many
traffic.
people go to Brickell Run Club?
On average right now, it's been insane lately. We're seeing 700 average.
Unreal. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's 500 to 1,000. It used to be 300
Yeah.
to 400. South Beach was like 100
For
or so. Like it was like under control.
Yeah,
Still would take over
Depends
Lincoln
on
Road.
what days.
Depends on what time of the year
For sure.
and what's right before the Miami Marathon, the week of the Miami Marathon.
It gets
Frankie's
crazy for us.
race,
around
yeah.
here.
I mean-
But that's the best part about Miami and like our running culture is it gives you something else to do. You don't have to be caught up in partying all the time. You don't have to be caught up in nightlife all the time. But you can come and run, and it's not like we're separated from that. Like it's Miami Music Week, but Cascade's here. It's Mayor's running with us during Art Basel. We've had Super Bowl runs. Personally, I did the Super Bowl run for Late Night Mania Crew with
wow.
Shoe Gallery, and Dan Marino was there. It was like we try to find a way to bridge those gaps to promote an active lifestyle, but also not to take you away from anything what people would deem like entertaining and fun.
Yeah, you can still have fun. I see you guys go to places and, you know,
for sure.
like partners of like local.
Yeah.
And afterwards, I'm sure I know there's a group that goes to, what's that taco place? It's
Yeah.
over by Brickell. They're always going.
Coyo.
Coyo.
Yeah.
My friend Antonio, shout out to
Definitely.
Antonio Vagan.
Definitely, especially like I would say there's a lot. It's probably more partying than running going on sometimes.
That's what, 3 miles? So you don't have to, this is not a long run in general.
Not in
It's
general.
meant to be accessible. That's the cool thing about Brickell Run Club, though, is it just grew so large, I think, because of how many people live down in Brickell. And so people just come from all the buildings, and it's, like you said, 700 plus. I saw in some of the videos lately that Frankie was saying, I've got to build a bigger building or something.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
you guys are on
insane.
Fortune International, which is some giant building, right? And on the steps, and you're putting them up on. Eventually, he's in the Red Bull DJ booth. He's in the window.
I don't know
where are you going to put Frankie so everyone can see him? He's mic'd up now.
Frankie is like over there, and it's like trying to tell people like listen to Frankie over there. But
You get everyone's attention when you have 700 people. Do you have a bullhorn out there?
talk loud and use your speakers. That's why as a pacer, you have to have your personality. You have to be a little bit out there, because at the end of the day, the first thing is safety. There's nothing to stop that second time runner from just jetting across the road. And I try to explain to people.
They're so excited, but you got to wait for traffic.
Yeah, it's like you got to wait
It's going to
for
get a
traffic.
bad reputation, but they could get hurt really
Definitely.
badly, too.
We definitely don't want anybody getting hurt. We don't want anybody having a bad experience. So trying to communicate, I try to speak as much. I'm that pacer that's yelling all the time.
Okay. You're watching out for people, though, and you're saying hi
I
to people.
might just be yelling nonsense and just singing songs and
you're
having
singing.
a good
Cool.
time.
Maybe you're the guy I remember when I came to one of the South Beaches a year or two ago, and you had the music, and you're super just energetic, just singing on the Venetian
And I was
Causeway.
singing, probably.
Yeah.
That's me. Yeah. So
What group do you pace in general?
I try to pace party pace is what we call
Party
it. It's
pace.
the middle pace. It's from 9 minutes to 12 minutes.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah,
Never heard of that pace.
So it's party pace.
I've heard of
First,
sexy pace.
We have sexy pace, we have party pace, and then we just have our fast people at the end.
the cheetahs up front.
Yeah,
That's where I
those,
usually
those are the
was.
ones back there. So if you've
Serious.
heard me sing, it's probably because you were passing me and I was in the middle of a song.
Mm-hmm.
But also with the DJing thing, it helps. I literally just sample songs that I
right.
might want to play, and if
See
people
what
enjoy
works.
it while we're running, they have to enjoy it while they're partying.
That's a great segue. So tell us how you got involved in the music scene, when your passion for music, and what your background, what you're up to with music.
It was probably definitely more because I'm definitely somebody who's passenger seat all the time. So I'm definitely on the aux and playing music that way.
Just
A lot of
growing
my
up in
friends are
Miami.
into music. It's just something that we're all about. And I do have to salute like my group around me. They just supported me when I was just like, hey, I think I want to DJ. And I was just on my phone on the app, just like making them listen to me DJ.
Sure.
And I do tell them now, because I've been doing it almost a year now, a year and some change, that thank you a lot, because I must have been very terrible in the beginning.
The transitions get
It wasn't that
I know
good,
that same
but
journey.
Now I can see their face. Some of them when they're like, oh, you're actually all right now. Like,
But a lot of it is the selection.
Yeah.
is one of the most important parts, along with reading the crowd. But the selecting of the music is
the
perhaps
music.
the most important part.
Yeah.
So if you're good at selecting the music, initially only the people who give hell is the other DJs.
And that's the one.
And
thing
that's the
I've
same
learned
thing
too,
at the club, and the same thing at the gigs, and the same.
Most people don't care.
Most people don't know when you train wreck unless it's a really bad train wreck. I mean, we can talk DJing now.
We've trained.
you know,
I've trained wrecks for sure. Recently, one of my friends.
everything shuts down, or you just.
I slapped my laptop clean off the stand.
Oh no!
Giving a friend a high five.
Oh no! The
And
laptop
music started playing backwards. And
Well,
like,
at least it wasn't a drink on it. I see the
Yeah.
drinks getting on.
No
so.
drinks. No.
So you use what type of gear are you using out there?
I'm just screaming to Serato and my laptop.
Okay.
Yeah, so I bring everything out. I haven't transferred over to sticks. I do say thank you to like modern technology.
You're
So,
able to
like,
do it without a controller right now
Yeah,
with the
I'm
gigs
just-
you have, which is more minimal.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
eventually
was
you
that
go.
guy
yeah.
walking around
Yeah.
with my controller.
Oh, you have the controller.
Yeah, because I was learning on my own, like little
Yeah.
DDJ, learning how to play on my controller. And I had not stepped up to any other ones, but I'm more comfortable now. I'd have to say thank you to people like Louis Arson is a big guy who's helped me a lot. One of the places that I played at a lot was Over Under. There's a woman there named Ashley. She's one of the first people to like just let me go and practice and play. So if you guys are ever downtown,
Where's
Over Under is downtown. It's right on Flagler. It's right across from Julian Henry's.
So like the First Street area by Flagler-ish, when we say downtown,
say,
by Bayfront Park?
No, like Flagler, like closer to like
By the
Julian-
government
no, where, like
buildings?
Lost Boy is. Yeah, it's next door to Lost Boy.
Okay.
It's a great place.
But you
Over
can look
Under.
it up over under.
Over Under, yeah.
Okay, I've heard of it.
I played there. I played there a lot before. I mentioned a guy, Louis Arson. He plays at Right Fruit.
I've heard of Louis Arson.
Every Thursday when Andrew Lucky, Right Fruit. He's one of the, when I was buying all my equipment, I'm on FaceTime with him, showing him. So
Oh, nice.
those are just two people
Mentor.
that come to mind for sure that have definitely been like embracing about like, hey, you can play here, or this is what you need to
Giving
do,
you
and things like
opportunities.
that. So I gotta say thank you to them for
That's
sure.
awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Well, the DJ life, it goes well with running, it sounds, because you
For
can
sure.
listen to the mixes, you can sample music
Yeah.
ahead of time, and you're sharing it with the run crew while you're running with them
100%,
too.
yeah.
Is there a DJ name online people can look for you on
It's
SoundCloud or YouTube?
You
Or is
can
it-
no, I just
through
everything's through my
Instagram?
Instagram is Lord of the Flare, but I do DJ by Sounds by Art. So if you ever
Sounds
see
by
that,
Art.
yeah. If you
Okay,
see
that's your
that
DJ name?
anywhere- Yeah, if
Okay, I
you
saw
see
that on your
anywhere,
Instagram. That's cool.
That's me.
Sounds by Art.
Yeah.
Oh, because it's Arthur Alexander.
Yes,
Sounds
sir.
by Art.
Sounds by Art.
All right,
There you
I'm
go.
putting it together. I did not put that together.
Yeah.
I just learned your first name yesterday.
Yeah, right.
Now, this is the next section. I know you initially
Right.
as Lord the Flare.
You're right.
Recommended by Frankie Ruiz
Yeah.
as someone that should be on the podcast that has a
No.
very interesting story and
Thank
is one
you.
of his pacers. And he said, you should reach out to Arthur.
Yeah.
Or, he said Lord the Flare. I think he did say Arthur initially, and I forgot. I wrote down your Instagram.
Yeah.
And then, so tell us, how did you get the Instagram Lord the Flare?
Funny story. I was just
It's like
I'm
a-
very much like Gucci Man fan who goes by Gucci Man LaFleur.
Oh,
And
okay.
Scott Disick, it was Lord to be with you. So it's
Is Gucci
Lord
Man
LaFleur.
LaFleur, is that an artist?
Gucci Man, yeah.
Oh, Gucci Man is an
Yeah,
artist, of
but
course.
he goes by Gucci Man LaFleur. So I
Oh, he
took
goes
that
by Gucci
from-
Man LaFleur.
So I took that
Oh,
and
okay.
Lord be with you from Scott Disick.
Okay,
That's funny.
so we
I've
got
never really
another
had to
musical influence.
I've never had to explain that at
Okay.
all. But that's why, yeah.
Okay.
I thought
Well,
it was,
origin stories are important.
thought it was clever
Yeah.
years ago.
It
and
is.
I still think it's clever. So yeah.
Instagram names can change over the years. Initially, I was So Beachy.
Yeah.
Because I was a Chi running instructor in
Yeah.
South Beach. And so it
So
just tied
Beachy.
together. So Beachy. Everyone knew me as So Beachy. And
And
I
that was
had to
it.
explain it. I'm a Chi running coach. I live in Miami, which is
Right.
South Beach. But it's just a cool word, So Beachy.
It worked. Yeah.
And
no,
then-
I definitely get.
But that
High
Lord the
on the
Flare is
flare,
very
yeah.
cool too.
I
And
get
now I'm
high
Bryan
on
the
the flare.
Botanist. It's
Yeah.
very boring, but it tells you who I am.
Yeah.
Frankie Ruiz is Frankie Ruiz from
Frankie
Miami
Ruiz.
Marathon.
Yeah.
Sneaker.impact.
Exactly.
So, and then
Like-
we have the late night menu crew is a big,
Late
big
night
one.
one. Crew.
Uh,
Yeah, we're doing well on Instagram.
Yeah,
right
no,
now.
I've seen you guys
Yeah.
making an impact in Miami because you guys are like more of an alternative group, I feel like, than the traditional run club store model.
Right.
And we talked about that. You guys are more than just a serious group of runners. You do have serious runners. And
Yeah.
that's a good thing for people to know too, like me, because I'm generally a serious runner. But I've learned that having fun is just as important. And you
No,
got to
I-
have people that are easygoing too. And it's not just, we're just running at 6 a.m. or
Right.
5 a.m. and that's
Right.
it.
That's it.
Got to do other things too. Like running late at night is fun. The challenges where you're running for days on end. I used to do those with some run clubs.
Right.
But also just doing things like supporting the burger enterprise that your friend
Yeah.
is starting, the Smash Burger.
That's definitely the biggest part about it is like where this year we have a thing called Major Moments.
Mm-hmm.
It's what's inspiring us to get to Chicago Marathon. What's inspiring us
Okay.
a couple of us in New York last year. I've done Chicago before. We have people that are chasing these majors. We recently had a young woman, Emily Suarez. She just did Boston. She ran in 3:07.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
she's
great.
an amazing runner. She
Yeah.
just moved here recently.
Okay.
Similar story to what you're saying. It was her birthday yesterday. We were all out. We went to Chili's, RIP Chili's, this is the last time. But we're talking to her and she's, I've been here 9 months. And thanks to the running community and the people that she's close to, she's met new people.
Amazing.
But it goes to show that we can still have our fun and enjoy ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
but we are trying to chase major goals. We are trying to be serious runners. And the more the running community grows, I think that term serious runner is going to
Get dissolved, yeah.
Yeah.
It used to be a big term back 10 years ago
No,
when I
but
was in the
it's-
run club
yeah,
scene in
it's
2010.
intimidating. I
These are
definitely-
the serious runners.
Yeah, and these
Brian
are
and
people-
Frankie, we would say
Yeah.
we have Brian Huberty here tonight. He's
Yeah.
run Chicago recently in 232
sure.
or whatever. I put some spotlight. And Frankie was just being sweet to me, but it would make, I didn't want to make anyone else feel just because I'm running a sub 16 5K that
Right.
they're not a special.
not a runner. No,
Not a real runner. We would zoom out there and get our workouts in, but
Yeah.
what I found too is that it separates too much.
But-
And that you have to stop thinking about people in terms of comparing. And it's like, yeah, some people are naturally faster or they're just working super hard to get to a fast level, right? And then some want to just be more chill
and definitely
or
not.
just
That's a
improve
good
at their own
point.
pace, not improve at some mega fast pace.
No, but that needs to be celebrated as well. I don't think we should lose the serious runner.
Highlight
term.
someone who does really well.
Yeah,
in
you
this-
run a 2 something in a marathon. You
or
run
if
a
someone
3
wins a race the week
Yeah.
before, giving them a shout out. But also
need-
giving a shout out to someone. We had a guy, one of our good friends, Sharif, who used to go to Run Club. I don't know if he still goes, but Sharif, and he was recognized, and he was not your traditional runner.
No, you need that. And there's a gentleman out of New York, Hector Espinola, who's leads a Woo Crew. We run Uptown in the Bronx, and
Okay.
he's a major inspiration and a major catalyst for why I do what I do in running as well too.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of Running World Mag's Runners of the Year last year, but
Okay.
he was completing his last major at Boston this year.
Okay.
So he was completing the whole thing, but his time was over 6 hours.
Oh, wow.
So he technically didn't get the
cutoff.
Yeah, the cutoff. So for a story like that, a guy like Hecht, who has been working in the Bronx and doing community work and running majors, and if you look at Hector, he's not your traditional runner. He's not the serious runner, but he's done more serious running things than anybody that I would know. You know what I mean?
Committed.
So he's committed, and he's more committed on a personal level. I do think when we speak serious runners, the groups get smaller because not everybody is elite. Not everybody has that in them.
Yeah.
But
they don't want to feel pressure either.
Yeah,
That they have to come every
know?
week, or that someone's keeping an eye on them or judging them. Like some people just want to come as you are, just relax, have fun.
It's hard when if I'm running 5 miles and it takes me 30 minutes versus you're running 5 miles and it takes you an hour and a half. It's not fun.
No.
You know what I mean? Like by the time you get back, everybody's in their cars and they're gone home. Like we're all dry. You don't want to feel like that last kid at recess. You know what I mean? But I feel like when there's community involved in those elite runners and those people who are not the traditional runners, and that's why in late night I try to strive, like, even though you might not run the fastest, you have more to give to the group. You know what I mean? You have inspiration to give to the group. There's that sexy
and your personality.
That sexy
adds
pace
a lot of
you
value.
give, If you're like, that's a big
Define
thing about
sexy pace, by the way, because I see a lot on
sexy
Instagram.
pace is technically what we call 12 minutes and over.
Okay.
So if you run anything over 12 minutes and over, a sexy pace.
So not caring at all about time.
Yeah,
You're
I
not
mean,
even
you
might not
care.
need
That's
to
just your
watch.
pace. Yeah,
Okay.
you know, that's
I
just
thought it
that
meant a certain
first-
swing to the hips or something.
If you're running at 8:30 mile and under and you
Okay.
feel sexy, you are running sexy pace.
Okay, so
That's all I'm
sexy
saying.
place is a state of mind.
It's a state of mind.
Okay, but in general, if we had to categorize it, it's over 12 minutes.
12 minutes and over. That's
Okay.
what we do.
And
for
16 to 17 is a walking pace, or 18 is a fast walk, is my
sexy.
understanding.
Yeah, sexy pace
that
to
could-
me. Anything over 12 is sexy
All right.
to us. That's what we
On my recovery from my surgery, I'm going
Right.
to be in sexy pace for
There
the
you
first
go.
month or so
For the
back.
first month or so.
I'll be coming to the South Beach in Brickell.
Definitely.
You're at both run
See,
clubs?
I am at both. Today is Thursday. We'll be at South Beach today. Tuesday was another big day. We partnered with Burgermeister in Brickell.
Okay.
It was a very big run.
Yeah.
So,
And you had Earth Day recently, I know.
Earth Day, yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
talk
Earth
about
Day.
Sneaker Impact, because I know we were part of the Brickell Run Club for
Yeah.
Earth Day. And we have our boxes at the Brickell Run Club.
You guys are a
in
part
South
of
Beach.
Brickell. Yeah.
South Beach too, right?
And
we have
South
our
Beach.
statue or our
Yeah.
in front of the Nike store. Tell us about how you found out, what your initial impressions were, and today you got to walk and see the facility here in Miami.
No, first and foremost, I do think more people should come and see this facility just because it's different when you just see the box. And shouts out to you guys for that box. It's great
clean.
branding. It's clean. People know, even your cardboard boxes, people know. We do have to stop people from throwing actual trash in there sometimes.
I always have to do that every
Yeah.
event I'm at, whether it's
But,
the Marathon Expo or
yeah.
you have to say no trash.
But at Brickell, we do have a committed community that is donating their shoes.
Yeah.
So was my first introduction through Sneaker Impact, was through Frankie and Brickell Run Club. Just having the box there, telling people what it's about, where the shoes are going. But now that I actually seen the facility, it means a lot more to see the actual, not only community effort, because I know when people think, oh, I'm just donating to community, but it's supporting more than community, it's supporting business. So
Sure, local employees overseas, people
there's-
that are working hard.
there's people working here.
Yeah.
They're making a living here. And you were telling me some of the success stories of some of the employees here actually opening their own businesses to funnel the
Shoes.
system that you guys put in place. And
yeah, they
not
started
only
on the
shoes.
floor with the
Yeah,
exporting, and then they moved their way into being a business merchant.
for sure. And it's not only
Can buy shoes.
Yeah, it's not only, oh, I'm getting shoes, and if they're good, I can bring them somewhere else and sell them. Or if they're getting donated, they get to go somewhere to somebody who needs it. It's giving people a way to make a living for themselves. That
Getting
was
them to people in need too,
Yeah.
because they're all leaving the U.S.
for sure.
Which is
Yeah, yeah.
important because it's a secondhand market, and it's also, there's a people overseas that are not as fortunate as we are, and even in America there are too, but we're helping here too. And I think the bottom line is you got to see the volume, and it's a big operation here. Is all the employees are working hard, and it's created a nice business out of shoes that would have normally gotten thrown away into the trash.
Right.
87% of shoes get thrown away every year.
No, you were saying that stat, and it's when you see
In
this
the US.
warehouse, you're like,
Yeah.
if 87% are getting thrown away, and this isn't even 1% of the shoes, then where are all those other shoes going? So yeah, salute to you guys. I definitely
Thanks.
think Sneaker Impact is doing a great thing. You are finding a way to integrate yourself into the community. I know I've seen the boxes at multiple places. Even if I'm not there on like a working thing, I pass by and I'm like, oh,
Wow.
Sneaker Impact. Like, I know Sneaker Impact. I'm familiar. So I guess that's just like the first big step, is getting people familiar with the process.
Yep.
And who doesn't want to do some good? If all you had to do was give your old shoes away to do good for somebody else, it's a great thing to be a part of as well, too.
Thank you so
I
much.
do want to applaud you guys for that.
Thank you. What did you think of the floor and meeting some of the employees today and
It's
seeing the
great,
grinding
yeah.
program? These are the...
Oh, yeah, we were saying, no, let's go.
Actually, you got your gator.
Yeah, we have it there. When I met Paul
poster.
downstairs, it was very interesting to see, because you can see he has a passion for the work that he's doing down
The creative
there.
process.
And to see that he's done some engineer work. You guys have your grinding machine and the filtering system, and it's filtering through a Sneaker Impact's glass box. And I had to ask,
Isn't that cool?
did you make that? He's like, yeah, I made that. And I'm like, you made a whole like filtering system
Yeah.
for
It's like,
grinded up.
it's hard to describe, but it's like a giant grinder that's got all these tubes and boxes and bags and vacuum cleaner type things going on.
You could see like the passion when he was explaining it. Everybody else there, you could see they're focused. They have
Everyone's
goals in mind. I
Working
said,
people.
yeah, it
Humble.
gives people an opportunity to do for themselves. And I think a lot of charity is just giving without actually educating and giving a drive. So I that was my biggest takeaway, is that you guys are actually like empowering people to do more versus just, here's some shoes, have a good day.
Or just shipping them overseas
Or
to some
just shipping
school.
them to some store or shipping them to some school, and then a box shows up. It's like, this is your liaison. This is somebody, they're from your community. You guys were saying you do a lot of work here in Little Haiti right now. And you're saying you do a lot of work in Haiti and in the Haitian community.
It's our number one export country. I guess recently there's been some issues, of course, getting the shoes there. Yeah,
a very hard time there right now, politically and socially.
That might have been another reason why there wasn't a lot of people down there today, because it was a beehive a couple of months ago, and a beehive the last couple of years.
For sure. And things like that matter. It should matter to everybody. There's conflicts happening all over the world. So I think when you're in a community like Little Haiti and you have an opportunity to give back and have some resolve for one of their conflicts, I, again, salute you guys and applaud for being that space for people to actually like work and make a living for themselves.
Yeah, thank you. It's an interesting stat is 75% of the world, apparently, and this is, I have to triple check this, but I can take that part out. 75% of the world depends on the secondhand market. But, and this is something I've been thinking about a lot recently, because in the U.S., we really don't depend on it at all. No one really does. Some people go thrift shopping. We go to Goodwill. Let's be honest. We go there just because we're curious and we just want to get a good deal. Maybe. Some people are really going there to save some money. I go to Aldi's because I love it. Or actually, I end up saving money. But the bottom line is the secondhand market is something completely different. That's like where all the clothing you buy is secondhand. Most Americans don't buy secondhand clothing or secondhand shoes, but 75% of the world does. And we're only 4.23% of the world, the U.S. That is a stat I looked up the other day. The United States makes up 4.23% of the world, and we consume, according to Google, 20 to 25% of the world resources. And we're only 4%. So we're consuming 5 times our own normal amount. And it's everything. It's the new car every couple of years. It's a new iPhone every year. It's the new stuff that every Black Friday and every time of year that it's a sale comes around. Or we just have to be more mindful about how much we're consuming. But the great thing is, when people get educated, they really want to change. And until you really know the problem and the alarming statistics, it's out of sight, out of mind. Until it's such a big problem that it's like a really bad problem, where like shoes are coming out of the rainforest because they're literally not even, the ocean's full of them already. I'm being a little dramatic, but
no, you're not being dramatic at all.
We know they're floating in the ocean. We know that people don't know. I see people throw trash out their window on a weekly basis in Miami. And I every time I see it, I honk, and I once in a while I had to talk to one person. I was like, stop littering, and they understood. It was a young person. Oh, okay. You want me to go pick it up? Yeah, please pick it up. Like.
Definitely.
Doesn't make sense. Why would we litter? Why wouldn't we recycle? I'm sorry. This is my...
No, you're right. Yeah, for sure. And it takes some education on topics like that. Because like you were saying, if it's out of sight, out of mind, it's like ignorance is bliss. So you passing that knowledge along to somebody, if that was happening at a rapid rate, then we might have some improvement in those areas. And that's what we're speaking about. Running kind of ties into what's happening globally and what's happening in social situations. Is like, we just did our plug run. We do plug runs probably once or twice a year. It's not the funnest run to do, but plugging, for people who don't know, is you run and you pick up trash. So we ran through Little Havana, down 8th Street, all the way back up into Brickell.
Okay.
And we've recently done those. We've done it on the underline, like places where people frequent. And we come back with
a lot of trash.
Pounds of trash.
Yeah.
Wow. Pounds and pounds of trash. And that's from 1 hour of running.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And like, it's a dent and a big problem, but little things like that and little initiatives like that kind of help things go in the right direction.
Plugging, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I was actually going to ask you, how do you live and run sustainably? Because that's a question I ask every guest.
Right.
So do you have any other ways that you've learned or that you just do as a runner, live yourself, that you're trying to not to be more sustainable? Is there other things you're doing or learning about, or just even being here today, did you get excited to learn more?
Definitely
make
being
new things out of recycled
here.
materials, like they're making a fashion bus downstairs.
Right.
What are those called? Mannequins?
Yeah, they're making mannequins out of
like
recycled shoe soles. That's crazy. But shouts to Paul again for that. That's really great. To live sustainably through running is just initiatives like Sneaker Impact, not just taking shoes off, because I know with running community, it's like we're watching how many miles we put on a shoe, and we hit 200 miles, we hit 250 on this mile, it's done, throw it away. Like having an opportunity to be like, okay, I don't want to throw it away. Thrifting, and like you were mentioning before, like being involved in fashion as well and being involved in creative, like even though it's a trendy thing, like a lot of my friends, we do, okay, I'm doing a cleaning, I'm going to drop this at Goodwill. It's right in Wynwood. It's right there by 1-800-LUCKY. Like, you guys can drop those off if you want. There are other people who may need it.
Sure.
Trying to find a way. Definitely with Brickell Run Club, we are very adamant about picking up the water bottles that we give out.
Okay.
That's how we check.
You have to provide water, and there are jugs, like bigger, what do you call the Gatorade coolers?
We give out.
You don't do the Gatorade coolers anymore?
No, we don't do Gatorade cooler anymore.
You
we
do small.
We have a small water bottle, but
because it's dangerous to run without water in Miami. It was 91 the last couple of days.
And right now, I'm not sure again when this will come out, but summer running, please hydrate. We've had in the past year, we've had a lot of issues where we don't want to call the fire department in to give you guys hydration. Bring your water bottles. We have space to store your water bottles as pacers. We will give you extra water if you need.
But you can't provide 20 water bottles per person or 10.
Exactly.
There's 700 people there.
When we
So
talk
everyone
about
might get
sustainability, it's one water per person.
700 bottles a week.
It would be like 1,400 bottles if we gave people 2 a week.
Between the two, yeah.
One day.
Yeah.
And
not
we're
everyone
talking
takes
about-
one, yeah. But,
Exactly. We're not talking, everybody takes
but
one,
everyone needs to put it in the right spot. And that's a problem. Is
we
I've
clean
seen you
up.
guys cleaning
Yeah,
up.
we
but
clean up.
Imagine if there was a more of a just, I don't know if it was important to people as much as looking good was. Putting stuff in the right place, which
Right.
it's just a joke because we all want to look good, right? How do I look? You know, you want to look in the mirror. Do I got a booger on my face?
No,
But
that's
also make sure to put the stuff you just ate into the proper thing. And then if the wind messes everything up and throws it out, okay, then that's not your fault.
No.
We'll go pick that up. But if
Exactly.
you're just throwing this stuff on the ground, and I used to see it on the Venetian Causeway, and it drove me nuts as a runner because people were throwing their goo packets on the ground.
They like,
And I went out there and I
they think
was
they're in the
putting
middle
them
of a race and they're like,
And there were sometimes
they're
it was
like-
actually after some of the
and they're
races,
tossing.
and the races do the best job they can to clean up, and sometimes they miss a spot. But on the Venetian in particular, I was living in Miami Beach, and I haven't talked about this in a while, but I went out there a couple of times, and it was one of those little green islands, like the little where there weren't any houses on it, but you cross it, and it was just right off the side of the road in the grass, and 20 goo packets, or all the different brands of gels. And it was from runners, and there were no trash cans in the area maybe, but it was just like, put it in your pocket.
Yeah,
But there's worse problems than runners. But you know what? That's right on the bay. And I was like,
No, it's
all it
baby
takes is a
steps.
little gust of wind, and we got all types. Plus, if you're doing it every weekend and runners are running in there every day and the goo gels are adding up, and that's the same thing that happens with the red Solo cups and the people on the boats and the jet skis that are on the bay. We live on the bay in the ocean here in Miami. We're half a mile away right now, and it's a very sensitive place. I think that the discussion about sustainability and recycling and throwing stuff in the proper, even just sorting your recycling is very challenging. As I recently moved into a home. It's not easy.
It's not easy at all.
Not easy. You got to take the caps off of stuff. You got to clean stuff a little bit. They don't want it half full of salsas. There's certain best practices. You don't have to completely scrub stuff down. I learned that recently because there's always not everything even gets recycled. It's a very complex discussion, but
for sure.
You want to do the best you can. And the biggest thing is at least get it into what do they call it? A garbage can or a recycling can. Don't let it just fall by the wayside, and then it's part of nature all of a sudden.
So
and you see it on the beach, though. You see the red Solo cups, and they're going to be there for.
You see it everywhere. I mean,
you see the liquor stuff, the people that aren't mindful.
For sure. And it ties back, because you were mentioning running and sustainability. If you have the mind state of compound interest when it comes to work, you put that effort into getting 3 seconds faster every week. You're trying to get a minute off your time. You're trying to get 2 minutes off your time. As a runner, that doesn't happen in one session. It doesn't happen in one long run. So if you're going to think about sustainability in the same sense, it's like, all right, it's 1 cup. Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, maybe people tear a goo pack and they throw it on the floor. But if you consistently are doing that, then what does that compound work look like to you?
Over your whole life? How much does it lower your impact?
How much is your impact?
Because we all fly and we all do
so I think it's
drive cars.
It's in a sense like that, and there's quotes all around it. It's
compounding interest.
It's compound interest. It's how you do
sustainability.
It's how you do anything is how you do everything is another thing. It's like if you can't stop.
It's having a good attitude. Hey, you don't have to complain about reaching down. Just do it just because it's the right thing to do, right? But sometimes I complain probably more than anyone. But it's not that I want to complain. It's just that I'm a canary in a coal mine, and I also love the phrase "a squeaky wheel gets the oil."
Right.
Because if no one complains about anything,
then you don't know.
It's going to go bad. It's a complaint is almost like a customer in the customer service cycle. We're Earth citizens. We're complaining because we're seeing trash. It's okay. We're actually the alarm system going off. Like, if you don't pay attention to it, then all of a sudden we're just going to be like living in trash.
Exactly.
We're already becoming part plastic. I think, I hope that we can move away from the plastic bottles, but it's challenging. I know it's very expensive to get other forms.
It is.
You guys are
definitely
preventing people from passing out there. So, and you're educating a lot, Frankie, and the group educates more. So that little bit of plastic isn't the end of the world compared to what you guys are doing as a community.
Exactly.
You're empowering people through running to just really support each other, which is beautiful. The run club scene in Miami, it's legendary, man. I mean, I've traveled the U.S. I'm sure you have too. In fact, I heard you recently were in L.A.
Yeah,
what were you doing out in L.A.?
I was just a group of my friends just to get away for the weekend, but it was actually a bit of a eye-opening experience. Usually when we do go on trips, we try to inspire each other creatively, what things we're going to work on. So a big part of that group is the part of That's Besides the Point, which we are doing that event for Father's Day. So we're doing a lot of talking about that, mapping out.
What is That's Besides the Point in a nutshell? I know it's a creative,
it's a creative collective that it's a group of guys, and we just focus on, it originally started for us just as a focus group to get our ideas out, talk about what's going on in life. But we are always together. We've known each other for years. So it's just to push different initiatives creatively, different storytelling platforms.
So like an art platform. I've seen the Instagram page. That's Besides the Point. It's on your profile.
It's on our profile too. So I mean,
it's like a lot of good art composed in the sense of, is it always art, or is it also?
It's not always
more
art.
Than art.
It's more. It's just storytelling for us. It's how we can take things that are happening in our lives and creatively in events and storytell through our point of view. So, for instance, just use the example of something that's coming up for the Father's Day. We like, how do we want to celebrate Father's Day? What connections do we have? So through Maria at Wakefield, we've talked to them. We have some local artists working on renditions so we can have that on our beer cans. We want to do a crafted beer day. We're going to have some vintage shop partner with us as well too, Retro City Vice. Through a gentleman, Steven, he's going to be locally connecting with us. So it's just ways of taking things from our community and storytelling in our way. So that's really what
the storytelling is so powerful.
It is, you know, it's how you advertise. And I feel like we are lost with that in a sense, because everything is always so fast. But like when you ask, like, what are memorable things when you look back on big brands like Nike, and we always talk about like how their advertising used to attract us so much. Like you've seen Michael Johnson running his gold cleats, and you can remember that. You've seen Ronaldo back in the day playing his
Jordan,
gold cleats. Jordan, his iconic things. They were story told. They were slower advertising things that kind of captivated you, down to, I'm a big LeBron James guy. All the LeBron James commercials of the past, we remember with him and Kobe, and they had the puppets, and the puppets were arguing with each other for months and months and months.
Cool.
To slow down and to actually pay attention to storytelling and seeing what somebody has to explain to you or somebody wants to introduce you to, I think is a big part of what we're trying to gear towards with That's Besides the Point. But also that's what I'm trying to do overall with multitude of things that I'm trying
storytelling to do. And just, that's cool. So that's basically filmmaking, art in a sense, but multidisciplinary. Can be also music.
For sure. Music as well too.
Cool. Let's get into one of the next sections. I know we're running out of time soon here, but it's 11:10, so we're keeping 9 o'clock. And this will be out in a day or two, by the way. It'll take a day or two to turn this around.
All right.
Arthur, what are your favorite running shoes lately?
My favorite
what have
running
been trending
shoe,
towards?
I have been a victim of trying the newest and best thing all the time, and I've recently found out that Alpha Flies are just not for me.
Okay.
Vaporfly is probably my favorite shoe.
Okay.
Alpha Flies are great, but Vaporfly.
So you're loyal to Nike mainly. I love Nike.
It is what I know.
That's what you know, and what you like on your foot.
And it's what I like on my foot. So
you mainly run in Nikes.
I mainly run in Nikes.
And you're a Nike Run Club pacer, so that makes sense.
Some On shoes.
And you worked for Nike.
Yeah, I worked for Nike.
Do you still work for Nike?
No,
or you used to work for
No, I used to work for Nike, yeah.
You've tried On?
On has some great shoes that I've liked. Hoka's are a bit high for me.
Okay.
I've run in them. I do like them.
So you said you like the Vaporfly a lot?
Vaporfly Nike is probably my favorite running shoe.
Like the Next Percent or the Pegasus?
Anything in that line.
Even the Alpha Fly? Do you wear that?
Alpha Fly I've tried. Zoom Flies and Vaporfly like Road are probably my favorite ones.
Okay.
Alpha Flies are a little bit high for me.
Yeah.
I tried them for the thing.
They're good for a marathon. I wore them once in a marathon.
I tried for that like Miami half, and I was great for 9 miles, and then afterwards I felt like I had bricks on my feet. So I was like not, but also I didn't really train in them. They were new. I put them on because
they do feel a little heavy at first. Not heavy, it's not the right word, but like you said, a brick where it's like more of a substance on your
feet. It's not like I'm running with the shoe. It's like I'm pulling the shoe along sometimes. But Vaporfly, like Next Percents are like probably my favorite ones.
Yeah, I've worn both of those shoes, and I wore the Next Percent a bunch, and then I got a pair of the Alpha Flies for London last year or 2 years ago, London Marathon. It felt like in the Alpha Flies, and I wore them in Chicago last October in the love Chicago. It felt like they're like more lower to the ground, like as far as not in an explosive position. What I was told by someone at the running event in Austin, which is like a big running conference once a year. I met someone from Nike, and he helped design the Alpha Flies. And they interviewed like Kelvin Kiptum, rest in peace, before he passed away. And they also have worked with Kipchoge extensively. So this guy actually had physically worked with Kipchoge, and he was telling me how it's all about the position of the plate sometimes. Like the Next Percent's like at a more of an aggressive position. And then the Alpha Fly was more of a flattened position. But now the newer Alpha Fly, they're getting into more of an aggressive. I think it just depends on how you like to run. And Kipchoge is a very smooth, efficient runner. And if you're more explosive, maybe the Next Percent's going to put you in more of a position. Maybe now they're learning, and all the shoes are changing and morphing, and they've got a new shoe line. I know in between, even like the Pegasus Turbo was just re-released. The 42 or 41, and they're going back to the 39, the most popular one ever, 38, right? I just read some about it where
it takes
they took the carbon fiber out of it, though. They're just using really nice foam
to get to it, because I think they had Zoom X foam before or something like that, and that's something when Peg Turbo came out before was like a big thing, like the Zoom X Turbo and the light carbon fiber plate instead of doing like heavy on each side of the scale. But I think when it comes to especially Nike running or like On running or Hoka running, it goes back to that conversation we were having. Like, because running is growing so much, if you focus on the elite only, you're going to miss out on the broadscape, the broad view. But what are the goals of the new running community? Is it to be the fastest anymore? We don't know. I don't think it's to be the fastest anymore. There are people out there who just want to accomplish goals at their own rate. It's not always about, there is always going to be elite runners. There's always going to be people who are above average runners or below average runners, but there's going to be something for everybody. And like an Alpha Fly or an elite running shoe might not be for everybody. Like how the Pegasus was so popular because that peg, you would see people.
That's one that almost anyone could wear, though, to be honest, because you want to give someone a shoe that makes them feel like a runner, even if they aren't. But the Alpha Fly is like for the fastest run, like the Kenyans, and let's be honest, the people going for the sub-3 Bostons and the stuff, but you don't need a $250 shoe.
No, to do that, to run that.
But what other gear do you like? What other running stuff do you favor? What do you use when you're running in Miami?
When I'm running in Miami, I feel like now it's like, especially now, it's like the less I have on or the less gear is best. I love like Nike running biker, like our running tights,
half tights,
the half tights. I'm very much half tights, singlet if that.
Yes,
We have a lot of late crew singlets that we do. We definitely make a new one for each race that we do. We try to recreate something for each race. Chicago's coming up. We'll probably do something very interesting for that soon. But as far as running goes, in Miami, I think you should be wearing as less as possible.
That's a good point.
It's especially
sunscreen though and a hat. Do you wear a hat? Because I see you got the Marlins.
I wear my Marlins in my daily.
And you got your late night menu crew shirt.
Yeah, we do have late night menu crew. I always wear my Marlins hat. I do love the Marlins as well too. Shout out Sarah Penelope from the Marlins. Couple of years ago, we did a Marlins run with late night menu crew where we got to actually run on the field.
Okay.
And I also wear this one because it's daily. Daily Miami is a sneaker store here on 7th. But I think as far as like running gear goes, I'm going to stand by that, guys. Drink your water and wear as least as possible, less as possible as you can.
Have you learned a lot about nutrition as a runner? Because you said you weren't a runner in high school or college necessarily.
No, I
wasn't. You came to it as an adult.
Nutrition.
Have you learned training for these races?
Yeah, it's to stick to your program. Don't do anything crazy.
So you eat a fairly normal diet still? Or?
I try to eat a normal diet. If I'm doing a longer run, I not really like a goo guy. I don't like goos. I'll bring like some Twizzlers with me.
Okay. And candy works.
Yeah.
You can use anything.
Yeah, I'm a Twizzler guy. I'll eat Twizzlers. That's cool. Anyway, so I'll try to sneak one. Like, it's a sweaty Twizzler after a while, but it's okay. I'd rather.
Oh, so you'll bring one even to Nike or not? You won't see you at Nike?
No, not at Nike. Not at 3 miles.
No, but on the weekend when you're doing more.
We're doing longer runs as we start, and that's
training
thing.
for the races.
Yeah, training for the races, and that's another thing I would stress. Find your group that you're gonna train with. It's much easier to get to that start line with the group.
It's huge, yeah.
And I always say this before any bigger race or any race that we're doing, like the process of getting to the race was the race. The race day is a celebration for me. That race day is a celebration. You put all that work in already. When it comes to the nutrition, don't try anything crazy.
Yeah, they always say nothing new, but nothing spicy either.
Exactly.
Like a day or two before the race.
Exactly.
Or 3 or 4 days.
We always
week of the race. Like minimize alcohol, minimize spicy food, minimize new things.
That's the thing. Yeah, we try to minimize the alcohol for sure. We definitely did that.
Oh, it's maximize hydration and other things like iron. I'm sure.
When we did Brooklyn, we did New York Marathon last year. A group of us, we went to like Lucali. Frankie has taken us to Lucali before.
It's a great pizza place in Miami Beach.
Yeah, we went to the one in Brooklyn as well too. Things like that. Find your group, get a plan together, plan a group dinner, or if you're going to be doing that, especially with nutrition now. One of our pacers, Lindsay, on Instagram, she's Lynn Held. She's like a nutritionist.
Okay. So you'll find that support in the run club.
You can find support from her. Like she's definitely somebody who details on her Instagram, and that's Lynn.
Like meal prepping and healthy. I meal prep here and there when I can. I'm not the best, but yeah.
What to eat before runs, what to eat throughout the week, what to eat when you're training. Frankie's wife, Carla, as well, is a great person.
Yeah, shout out to Carla.
Yeah, Carla's a great person to look to as well too. So again, in these communities, there's so many people that are offering advice, or offering help, or offering different details and nuances to get you through different parts of running. If it's socially, if it's nutrition, if it's mentally, there's a lot of spaces now, thankfully, because of the growth of the running community that they got you covered, you know?
Awesome, man. It sounds like you guys are supporting each other in tons and tons of ways. Literally, it's so much. Run Club has always been so much more than just a workout, but Frankie and the model that he's created and that you've helped also build and implement is just really cool to see, because it's really authentic and it's fun and it's not so serious anymore.
Right.
And it's just, I'm sure you've seen people come that didn't think they really belong there, and then they what I'm trying to say is that people that didn't think of themselves as a runner before but came to try it out with Nike and then fell in love with it, and then they come every week, and they would have never thought that they were going to become a runner, and they might not be the typical sub 20-minute 5K runner. They might be a 30 or 40 or 50-minute, but whatever. But they're just covering the distance and they're having fun and they're laughing, and it's not about judging what time you had on as far as the amount of time it took. It's about the quality of the time you had in, which is all about energy, attitude, and everything in life. And your attitude as a pacer, I'm sure, sets the tone for the entire run club.
And that's you made a great point there. There's so many people that are like, I'm not a runner.
Yeah.
And I have very much closer group of friends, like even my close group of friends, and that's besides the point. Like 2 of them, Devin and CJ, they're photographers. You talked to them years ago. Even now, they've ran multiple halves. They've done photography events for running. They've shot running in different places, and they'll still say, oh, I'm not a runner. And they're like, oh, I'm a runner now, but they'll still stand by that. I'm not a runner.
Because they didn't run in high school
they're
or
not
college.
A traditional runner, but
they came to it late in life.
But I feel like our community is so embracing that even if you
Absolutely.
don't identify as a runner, or you're not like on Strava.
Or someone who's never done a mile before.
Yeah.
Or someone
We
who
have that.
might be a little overweight and might be a little, what's the word? Just, they might not feel like they might not feel, oh, I'm not some skinny runner.
Yeah, they don't feel like they belong, but
Yeah.
especially here in
Might feel
Miami,
nervous going.
we're great about that.
Yeah.
Another
All body
person-
types are welcome.
Yeah,
right? All nationalities, all face.
all walks of life.
All
and
types of people
We
come
just
to
did a walking event last week with
Mm-hmm.
Nike. Shout out to Kenzie. He's on Nike Ekin here. And even with brands pushing initiatives like that, they have a new shoe that's meant for walking. There's a huge walking event that happened with the Wellness Wednesdays Walk Collective with Lara. I actually got to DJ that as well. And it's
Oh,
like,
that's cool.
yeah, and it's with things like that happening, I feel like there are the spaces for the elite, and there's the spaces for our non-traditional runners and our walkers.
And for just everyone to get involved. It makes you healthy. Honestly, have you seen that? There's people just get healthier.
Healthier, yeah.
And happier too. Mental health we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Physical health's very important too. Because there's,
It
an
ties
obesity,
together, yeah.
there's an obesity epidemic, there's a diabetes epidemic in the US, there's a cancer epidemic, and running does help prolong life. Studies have shown that.
No, for sure. And
Cardiovascular exercise is so important.
there's examples around. I have closer friends who they started running and turned their life around. They're different people. Things are going well for them. And it's not necessarily like by luck or by chance. It's like when you start to focus more on yourself and you start to focus more on your health and your mental health and your physical health, other things tend to happen. You know what I mean? You put yourself in the right
It's
places.
momentum, right?
Yeah,
Energy
it's
going in the
that
right direction.
compound interest that we were talking about before. One thing is connected to the other. You know what I mean? So I'm very thankful for the community in Miami, especially for being embracing to me as they have been and allowing me to have some say so and some influence on things that are happening in people's lives. So I don't take it for granted.
Why do you think you were chosen as a pacer? Have you ever thought about that?
Why I was
Or do you know why, or do you
chosen?
know how you were chosen? Tell us that story.
With
you on the shoulder?
Molly was the one. I tapped Molly on the shoulder that I wanted to pace.
Okay. Oh, so you took the initiative.
Yeah, because I wanted to go run and not be on the not work.
As an employee that you could probably of Nike,
Yeah, you get paid to go to run club.
Yeah.
So I was like, why am
And
I?
you can also
sitting
educate-
in the store when I can go out there and run. So it all started as a means of just escaping the sales floor, but it turned into being able to talk to wonderful people like yourself and
Oh, thank you, man.
working with Sneaker Impact and
Yeah.
working with Brickell Run Club and having Frankie be the leader he's been. He's brought me on the news with him to speak about late night menu crew, partnering with different things in Miami that I never really thought would happen, but was hopeful that would happen.
That's awesome.
So I'm
Well-
just more excited for next steps and hopefully
Yeah.
everything
What
goes
does the
forward.
future hold? What other projects are coming up in the next 6 months? I know you have this event for Father's Day.
Yeah,
And you have something with Jay Wakefield. When's the Jay Wakefield
Jay
event?
Wakefield is on Father's Day.
That's the one on Father's
Yeah,
Day.
but for this 6 months, it's very much focused towards getting everybody ready for Chicago Marathon and Berlin Marathon. Those are
The fall
two-
marathon season.
the fall marathon season, and then going up to winter where we have Miami Marathon, which is our home.
Yeah, the
race.
summer's hard in Miami. Like it's
Yeah.
extremely hot. It's not as crazy here.
But
because-
after that
yeah.
fall marathon, we're like good to go.
Oh
for
yeah,
Miami.
Oh yeah. Once like October, November gets here, then
Yeah.
we're good until like April, and then now it's May, and it was 91 the last couple of days out. And
No,
I'm
this
gonna
is
restart
way
my
busy.
running June 5th.
Yeah,
I've had
just-
the last 2 or 3 months off.
Okay, right after World
Normally I
Run.
never take.
Global Running Day.
Yeah, June 5th,
yeah.
Global Running Day. Yeah.
Global
Yep.
Running Day. We're going to be doing some activations for Brickell Run Club.
Awesome.
That week, I believe the Late Night Meeting crew has a run that weekend as well too. So.
I can come to the Tuesday Global Run Club, but Wednesday I'm going to be at Runners Depot on Global Running Day. They're
Oh,
one of our
nice.
partners. We were invited to their Fort Lauderdale Run Club.
Oh,
on Thursday.
congratulations!
Yeah. Runners
Yeah.
Depot.
I've heard of
Yeah,
familiar.
they're
Yeah.
good. Yeah, they're good people.
That'd be
And
good.
They're up in Broward more, so then.
No, yeah, and there's great crews in Broward too. Broward Run Club.
Yeah, do you want to give any shout outs in this section?
No, definitely. Broward
know-
Run Club. We were about to speak on it. Kev leads a great group out there. Kevin Blair. We have No RSVP, formerly known as Unknown Run Club. They run from Wynwood every Saturday.
What's the name of that one again?
No RSVP.
No RSVP.
So their whole thing is just pull up. That's led by Sean Motley. They run from Panther Coffee right there on Second in Wynwood next to Koyo.
Yep.
We have Christian Lee's Coconut Grove. They
Okay,
run
I've
down
heard
there,
about them.
Coconut Grove
They're-
Run Club.
yeah.
Late Night Menu Run Club. If I'm forgetting anybody, a gentleman by the name of Alexander. He leads Morning Miles. They run on Saturdays. You can find them. We have
Did you DJ
Herd.
the on squad race.
Yes.
I remember you there. Yeah, I did the squad race, the 600 meter.
Oh,
relay.
yeah.
That was
I
crazy.
was DJing that too.
Yeah.
We ran, we lost.
I remember you
time.
did a great job DJing it. You
Hey.
brought a lot of energy because I'm a DJ at the time, and I came with my small group, my team,
Okay.
and we were like, wow, they got a great DJ.
Thank
This
you.
is really good. They
Yeah,
brought that was a wild event. So
Thank you. That was like the first event I've probably ever done too. Running event.
You brought a great sound system. And
Thank you. Louis was also DJing with me as well too. Yeah.
Cool.
I think
Yeah.
I forgot. Oh, the Herd on Thursdays. They run for
the
Vaco
groups.
Studios.
The Herd.
They run Thursdays. If I'm forgetting you, I'm sorry.
No, there's so many run clubs.
Yeah,
I've got 5 of my own that are
No, for sure.
so low key
Yeah.
that they haven't met really recently. But
But that's
there's hundreds of run clubs in Miami. Though. Not hundreds.
There is.
There's dozens.
And that's a big thing too.
In Fort Lauderdale, Miami area.
Between us and there, I think that what I would want to say and I want people to know is it's not a competition. I feel like it's a community, not a competition. And we can all support each other.
Yeah, you
We
can go on a tour and go to everyone's run clubs.
Yeah, I definitely want to make that because it can become, when it becomes branding, when it becomes supported by
Can
the
get
bigger
cliquey.
companies and things like that, like it can create separation because what you want to do great for the world is not any less than what I want to do great for the world. So I feel like we can all coexist.
Just exercising in general, we can all run together
for sure.
So that's really cool. But guys, you can find Arthur on Tuesday and Thursday nights. Tuesday at Brickell, Thursday at South Beach.
Yes.
Arthur, is really amazing having you today into the Sneaker Impact Studio. What do you think? This is all
Thank you.
brand
No,
new.
amazing
Big
area,
dramas,
amazing studio. This is good work.
Facility. We're gonna go talk to the founder now, and we're gonna. Today's Thursday, so we
I gotta
get
get over there as well too.
So do you have any final thoughts you want to share with our audience today about your message of? I always ask people about hope, about love, and about optimism, and just what keeps them going, as Frankie would say.
Frankie's definitely don't stop. I recently was speaking with people and I posted about it as well on Instagram, but community is key and commit to your community. We are there for each other. We have people who are watching out for us, people who depend on us. And I just say, keep your commitment to your community, and that's it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for your inspiring message today, Arthur. We'll have you back in the future.
All right.
And have a great rest of your summer.
Thank you.
Take care, brother.